Coming up on Sports Weekly, we got some big news regarding the Aquinas football team as their schedule for 2023 begins to take shape. Plus, a look back at the 2022 season with some MVPs from the Ironwood League. And we're going to hoop it up. San Bernardino taking on a very good Jurupa Valley squad in boys hoops. And it was a wild game between the Cards and the Jaguars. Plus, you know we're going to have some soccer action. Indian Springs taking on Arroyo Valley in the championship match of the 5th annual Lady Coyotes Classic. Highlights from that one as well. And we will check in with the head coach for San Bernardino Valley College men's basketball, the great Quincy Brewer, trying to get the Wolverines back to the Elite Eight. And who knows, maybe even a little bit further this season. All that coming up on this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG, and it starts right now. And with that, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez, and we appreciate you watching Sports Weekly on IEMG. Before we get to the good stuff, make sure you subscribe to the IE Media Group YouTube channel. We would really appreciate it. We got a lot of soccer and basketball as the winter sports season is in full swing now. But we've also got some big football news, and that's where we start. As we start looking ahead, well, until the next football season, 2023. Yes, I know 2022 just wrapped up, but it's always a good time to talk high school football. For the Aquinas Falcons, looking ahead to next season, they're already working on a very daunting and very exciting non-league schedule, and it will include, well, these guys. Mission Viejo, the Diablos, made it all the way to the CIF Southern Section Division I semifinals last year by beating Centennial in the quarterfinals by a final score of 31-28. Well, Mission Viejo will play Aquinas in week 1 of the 2023 season. What a big game for the Falcons, but they're used to it. They're playing Etiwanda. They're playing Upland. They're playing Cajon. They played Long Beach Poly. They're playing a lot of great teams. Mission Viejo might be the best yet. So that'll be week 1 for the Falcons. Mission Viejo, again, CIF Southern Section Division I semifinalists last season as they beat Centennial in the quarterfinals to advance. They finished overall 10-2 and your South Coast League champions from a year ago. So that is a big get for Aquinas football, a very big test. And yes, if you're wondering, the Falcons will play Cajon again. It's a home and home. So this past season, Cajon was at home. This upcoming year, Aquinas will be at home for that big battle between the Cowboys and the Falcons. Now, speaking of the Falcons, the 2022 postseason awards are finished, and we want to give a quick shout out to the Aquinas Award winners, specifically the overall MVP from the Ironwood League, and that would be the super sophomore JoJo Solis. The running back also play a little defense as well. JoJo is the overall most valuable player, but they also have an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP, and the Aquinas Falcons cleaned up basically across the board. They had all league guys all over the place, but on defense, the defensive MVP was number 27, Ronnie Roberts, one of those ringleaders on defense as a tackle machine. There he is, number 27, Ronnie Roberts. And on offense, so JoJo was the overall MVP, but the offensive MVP was Dre Robles, the quarterback who was unbelievable for a couple seasons for Aquinas. So congratulations to Dre and Ronnie, and of course JoJo on those all-league awards. All right, so that's football. Now let's transition and talk a little basketball. Jurupa Valley on the road at San Bernardino in a very important Mountain Valley League game. You might say Indian Springs is the team to beat in the MVL, but Super Duper Jurupa Valley looks pretty good. San Bernardino is good and will be even better. They got a pretty young team, but you can already see they've got a lot of talent. Let's take you out to Cardinal City, USA. Jaguars and Cards going head-to-head, and it was a good one for San Bernardino in the first half. They raced out to an early lead on Jurupa Valley. Freshman George McEwen, told you these guys were young, but they're very talented. McEwen hits the big three for San Bernardino. And then up 16-5, Alfonso Naranjo Rigo. Cards up by 13. And they were fired up because they came out on fire at Cardinal City against Jurupa Valley. Second quarter, more action from the Cards. McEwen to Nathaniel Stokes, the fake. Spots up for three on the wing. Count it. San Bernardino up 23-5. It sure looked like the Cardinals were going to blow out Jurupa Valley. But the Jaguars stayed steady, kept chipping away at the San Bernardino lead. That was Julian Garcia to Daniel Berrigan for the bucket, and then Christian Brown to Berrigan for two more. San Bernardino led 28-14 at halftime, but in the second half, Jurupa Valley outscored the Cards 49-30. So that they erased that big San Bernardino lead. They come back to win the game 63-58, the final score. So now Jurupa Valley 10-4 overall. The Cardinals are at 4-9 overall. Same two schools now as we pivot from basketball now to boys soccer. It was a game that we had live on IEMG. Jurupa Valley using a big second half, just like basketball on the soccer pitch. It was a big second half that the Jaguars were able to pull away and get the win. Let's check out the highlights.
It should be a fantastic season in the MVL. There's a live look at the Cardinals huddle as we go inside with Coach Polatron and the Cards trying to get their first league win of the season. Up ahead. Getting around the last line of defense, number 14, the shot is up and in. That is number 14, Luis Morales. The goal for the Cardinals. And they take the 1-0 lead. And that's exactly what San Bernardino wanted, to get an early goal and work with that lead here into the second half. Going inside, a left-footed shot and in for Jurupa Valley. It looks like number 9, Anthony Martinez. And another one for Jurupa Valley. That's going to be Galvez. So too quick for Jurupa Valley. And it's now a 3-1 game. The Jaguars in control. Now the attack by Jurupa Valley. Up ahead, no offsides call, the shot and in. Another Jurupa Valley goal. Super duper Jurupa Valley goes on top by a score of 4-1 thanks to number 15, David Kalu. Fausto Lopez taking the penalty kick and buries it. The goal for Lopez pushes that Jurupa Valley lead now to 5-1 as we update the IEMG scoreboard again. And speaking of scoreboards, we'll go back and take a look at the scoreboard here inside the stadium. 5-1. That one will not count. And that is the final whistle in this game. Jurupa Valley getting the big win this afternoon. 5-1 the final score here live on IEMG.
All right, some highlights from the match. You can watch the entire game right here on IEMG, the YouTube channel. When we come back, highlights and interviews from the 5th annual Lady Coyotes Soccer Classic at Indian Springs. We will be right back.